Hey friends, welcome back to the Hideaway Homestead. I'm Mike, and on this week's episode, we're going to be doing a little bit of foraging. So blackberries and wineberries are actually in fruit right now, real heavily around the house and along our road and out in the woods. So me, Vanessa, and the kids are all going to go out and we're just going to go do some berry picking. Also, there is a plant here that grows pretty much everywhere around the household and around the homestead, and it's called a mullein plant. And a mullein plant has a lot of benefits medicinally, so you can make tea out of it, you can make oils, you can smoke it. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with it. So we're going to be collecting some of that as well, so we have it on hand. As usual, if you like our episodes and you like the content today, consider hitting the like button down below. That really helps us out. And if you are new to the show, you may want to consider subscribing. We have new episodes out every Thursday, and we do a wide variety of topics from cooking to building things here at the homestead, animals, working on the garden, foraging, you name it, we're doing pretty much everything here. So let's get started. All right, so before I get started, we're gonna put some bug dope on myself, the kids, and Vanessa. The mosquitoes and the midge flies and some of the other biting insects are kind of rampant right now. So what this is, let me see if I can get a little bit on my finger here. I'm making too much of a mess. Okay, so what this is, and I know it's kind of dirty looking, but it's really a combination of things. It's pine tar with some castor oil and a couple of other ingredients. And on a future episode, I'll show you how to make some of this stuff. But really what you do is you just put this on a couple of different locations on your body. Just dab, a little dab will do you. Just do it in a couple of spots, like your wrists, your neck, any exposed areas, and this stuff is great at keeping insects away. And Vanessa's been kind enough to let me experiment on her. So you can see here it goes on kind of dark, but go ahead, Vanessa. Once you rub it on, you can't really see it all too much, and it has a very minty smell to it. And like I said, this stuff's great. You don't need a whole lot, just like what she just did. We'll put some on our neck, you know, just kind of around this area here. We'll do the same on this side, and you just put it in a couple of spots. This stuff's amazing. I was up in Ohio at a survival camp for a week, and they had us sitting right next to the lake, and there were these really aggressive black mosquitoes up there. I've never really seen them down here. They were real shiny black, very aggressive. I opted not to use this stuff for probably the first half of the week. I ended up with 172 mosquito bites after we had counted all of them. It was crazy. After that though, I started using this stuff, never get mosquito bites. Look at that. They look great.
Yeah, I love that one and that one.
All right, let's head over this way. I think we're gonna start over at Uncle Chris's house.
Yeah, because he's got the farm.
And it looks like Chris's hostas plants are blooming as well.
Yeah. And there I see one of them are opened.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
Mm-hmm. These are two different types of hostas.
Oh, that's right. I'm not sure what the variety is, but yeah, two different kinds. All right, so we're kind of sneaking down here behind Chris's house, which I think you can see over there in the background. And we're gonna kind of work our way around the perimeter. I don't think we're gonna go down into the woods. Not today anyway. But yeah, we're gonna kind of look around and see what we see. I mean, I can see some right now, actually. I see a bunch, actually. All right. So let me start here. Now this one looks like it's been picked over quite a bit. Let me get you in real close. Yeah, the deer have been eating this. You can see the leaves have been eaten off. Some of the good berries have been picked over. Some of them are green still. Let me get in here and show you. This one you can see is dying off because it has a lot of berries growing on it, right? But if you come back this way, you can see this one here, okay, doesn't have any berries on it at all. All right, it's just greened up. So this one next year is very likely not gonna have any fruit on it. This one will though. This one will have a lot, so we'll definitely, you'd want to leave that one alone. This one doesn't have a whole lot on it, guys, so I'm thinking maybe we leave this one here and let the deer finish eating it. How's that sound?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of berries over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go check out over here real quick. And let me zoom in real close here on one for you, so you can see here, like that's a good one. So we're gonna pick that one off. Down here we actually have some wine berries, and I'm gonna show those to you. So they got some stickers on them too, right? You can see here they got some stickers on them too, so you're gonna want to watch out. You may want to wear gloves, but yeah, here's some wine berries. So they kind of flower, they kind of look like this, these little balls, and that keeps the insects away, and then they open up. And these are really good. They taste like raspberries, but yeah, we can definitely pick some of these, and there's a bunch over here. And again, we haven't gone very far. We're just skirting the edge over here at Chris's house. So this is gonna be great, right guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you like these berries on?
Cake.
Cake? Yeah.
With whipped cream like your mom did last time.
Nice. All right. Yeah, don't squeeze them. Here, turn the basket a little bit. There you go. Don't squeeze them too hard, okay? Same thing, you're just gonna wanna
Yeah.
pluck them right off.
Yep, my first one came off.
Yeah, and they'll slide right off that little stem, and that's when you know they're ready. And man, these look great.
They're super pretty, aren't they?
All right, let's move on.
We're doing pretty good.
We are doing pretty good. Another benefit to us picking these, and actually there's some wine berries right there. Another benefit to picking these, especially this close to the house, is bears. So helping pick these will keep the bears away. They'll just hopefully pass through and not find anything of interest around here. So here's a cool find, and again, we're like, you know, what, 50 yards away from Chris's house. We're not that far away, but here is a bunch of wild mint. And you can definitely, I can smell it coming off the plant itself. But if you were to pick one of these leaves and roll it up, and this stuff's great. Obviously, if it's you know, if you collect some of this and it's winter time and you rehydrate it and rub it together, you can even use it as a tea. It's gonna open you up, and especially if you have a cold or something of that nature. So again, you don't have to go to the grocery store or, you know, any of those locations to find medicine. You probably have it right in your backyard. But I would definitely recommend making sure that you're with somebody who knows these things, and not just out in the wild. There are, for as much medicine there is out here in nature, there's poison out here too, and you could get really sick and get hurt. So we're gonna leave the mint alone today though. I like the fact that it's flowering, because that means it's gonna, I like the fact that it's flowering, because that means it's gonna hopefully spread. And then we can actually collect this at some point. We wouldn't want to collect all of it. You just want to collect some of it, like maybe a third, and leave the rest so it can repopulate. So something else too, if you're out here, is these pine needles. Okay, so like pine needles like this, and especially the pine needle tips, but there aren't any right now. But you can take these needles and you can collect them all. Yeah, go ahead, Clara. And do what?
Tea.
And to make tea, exactly.
And it's for good colds and stuff.
It is good for colds and stuff. It has a lot of vitamin C in it. And it tastes really good too. But it has it's packed with a lot of vitamin C. So you can make this tea, drink it. It's gonna taste great. It's gonna remind you of being out in the woods, and it's gonna be good for you.
So, what type of pine tree is that? Is it spruce or fir?
Ah.
Exactly.
What's the one over here?
And you know his name's Douglas. We call him Dougie Fir Tree for short.
What?
That's so silly.
That one.
And Thomas, you were right. So look, we'll do a little real quick lesson here. Kind of wasn't on the agenda today, but this is how this works on the homestead. So this is a maple tree, and it's got a very distinguished star on it. I mean, you're gonna know it's a maple tree with that star on there. And then we actually have over here there's some water on it from the rain yesterday. We have over here the oak tree. We have a lot of oak trees and maple around here. They're very common. Chris has a really nice peach tree in the back of his house, and they're definitely doing their thing and rocking and rolling.
Look at the yellow one.
The leaves.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, this is, you know, from a size perspective, that's my hand. They're not ready yet. From everything that I've read, and we've never owned peach trees before, everything I've read, we gotta wait until about, I think August is around the time frame that you're supposed to start picking them. But it looks great. He's got tons of them back here. And if we walk back this way and kind of watch your step, you know, make sure there's no snakes or anything like that. And we're gonna come back here. We're gonna avoid these. These guys right here are not ready yet. You can see, you know, they're red. But if you look over this way, we have quite the wineberry cluster. You know, just a little bit off the beaten trail. Not too far off the beaten trail. And here's a, sorry for the wind, guys. Here's a wineberry cluster that's not ready yet. And like I said earlier, you can see there's, they got those stickers around them.
Help me out, Thomas. Get the pumpkin.
Pops right off.
This one.
Thomas, you got the hiccups?
Yeah.
You been eating those berries already?
No. How many?
All right, I think that's good for this one. We're over at our well house right now. There's a whole bunch intermingled right here. So yeah, like there's a bunch of wineberries, which look really great. And there's a bunch of blackberries back in here. So I'm gonna try to sneak back here. Oh, there's a bunch right here on the ground actually.
I see a blackberry one.
Wow, I'm surprised the rabbits haven't eaten these.
That one, Daddy, Daddy.
Yes, ma'am. Can you reach it?
Oh no,
I'm trying to use my list.
I squished that.
No, it's okay. Yeah, these look great. These are coming in really good. There's a ton of blackberries in here, but I can definitely tell the deer have been back in here too. Mostly because I can see like indentations from their feet, but also because of all the deer scat that's sitting around. So you can tell they've been coming back here and nibbling on the leaves. They've been probably eating the berries too, just fine. I love feeding the deer up here. The deer help feed us as well. So yeah, let's keep picking. looks like William, Belle, and Kylie are being nosy. You're an old lady. You ain't interested in what those kids are up to. Oh.
Hi, Mom. Looky that, William.
It's crazy. This whole area is just all berries. So I guess this is going to be our berry patch.
Yeah. See here a pretty decent wineberry patch, right? And you can see here something's been nibbling on them. And again, if you kind of look down this way, you're going to see these indents in the ground. And that's where the deer have been kind of standing over here, eating the berries, and just kind of enjoying themselves. All right, folks, so the other reason we're out here today too is the mullein plant. I mean, look at this thing. I'm standing next to it, and I'm a pretty tall guy, and this thing is, I mean, I can't even touch the top. It is a pretty massive plant. This is the one that's closest to Chris's house. He's got the apothecary thing going on around his house. But these plants are great. They're super medicinal. They can take care of a number of issues for you. And you can tell what kind of plant they are because they look like this. First of all, there's no imposters, so you don't have to worry about other plants that might look like this one. The leaves are very soft, and they have these flowers that come out, and you have to keep checking the flowers, every couple of days because they actually flower sporadically. It doesn't bloom all at one time. So a couple of things about this plant. First off, I mentioned that the leaves are soft. Makes great toilet paper. You can use this in a pinch in case you need to go use the restroom. The plant has medicinal qualities too that help with rashes. Like if you have a baby rashes, they actually used to take these and cut them real low on the stem and wrap them over and use them like diapers for babies to keep the rashes off of them. They help with hemorrhoids, things of that nature. The leaves can be dried out and smoked. It acts as a expectorant, so it actually helps you breathe in your lungs. I know it's kind of counterintuitive. You would think like smoking's bad for your lungs, but actually in this case, this plant is good for that if you use it in small quantities. And if you check in the description below, I'll give some information and maybe give some helpful links to this plant in case you have this plant on your own farm or homestead and you want to try some of the things that we're going to be doing. So really what we're going to be doing is we're going to be harvesting some of the leaves so that we can dry them out. We don't use the stems really. I'm going to clip the leaf and we're going to use this fleshy material. This way I can dry it out, and also you can make a tea out of it and drink it. And something else that I'm interested in, and hopefully you can see this okay, I know the sun's in our eyes, these little yellow leaves these little yellow flowers right here. We want to collect as many of those as we can, and what you can do with that is you can actually put them in a mason jar, and that's what we're going to be doing. This is a super medicinal plant. All right, and so what I'm going to do here, and I don't want to destroy the entire plant, so I'm only going to take a couple of leaves off this one, and then we'll move on to the next one. That'll help make sure that I don't kill the plant off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get really low to the stem here. Yep, I'm just going to tear that off. And then I'm just going to use my knife carefully. And really, I don't even need my knife. And I'm just gonna take the leaf off.
So you don't need like the rib of it?
Nope, we don't need the rib.
Like lettuce.
It is kind of like lettuce. And we're just gonna take that off. And this one's pretty good. It's really ready to go. And I'm just gonna leave the ribs laying down here. So again, I'm gonna take a couple of these off. And you can see these leaves, they're huge. I mean, yeah, look at this. So they used to cut these off and then wrap them up like a diaper for a baby. I mean, literally just cup it under there, and it's really soft. I mean, it's like felt almost. So again, super medicinal plant.
And what, like February or March, this plant was on the ground? It was...
Yeah, it's very fast growing. There's actually some flowers that have fallen down into the leaves, so I'm gonna collect those too. And I think I'm gonna take one more off of this plant, and then we're gonna leave this one alone. And you can see here we have a couple more mullein plants. So and they're starting to bud. So again, we've got kind of these little flowers that we want to get off of them, but we're not even that far from the house. You can see the wood boiler and some of the stuff in the background. So again, we don't have to go really far. We're way out here in the country in the woods. We're going to collect a little bit from each one of these, kind of like I did the other one, and we're going to keep foraging. And you can see here, our peach trees aren't doing too bad either. Chris's are looking really good. These are looking really good too. They got some weight on them. So we've got these 2x4s or 2x6s hold them up. But yeah, it's looking really good. We also have a apple tree here. I'm just not entirely sure what kind of apples these are. Maybe one of you could tell us, or maybe it's a little too not mature yet to know. I don't think these are crab apples, because the crab apples get really lumpy looking. I mean, I could be wrong. Yeah, what do you think? And then we have a pear tree here, and the pear tree's doing really well too. This one's going to be ready in no time. You can see the, and these are looking great. Definitely some weight coming off of these. I mean, look at this. Look at all those pears. Pretty cool praying mantis. We like praying mantises. Look at this patch, folks. Look at this. Tons of berries over here, just tons of them.
These look like they've just fallen down. They're so heavy.
Tons of berries. Just follow this trail here. I mean, you can see some of these haven't opened up yet, but some of them have. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get something to eat for lunch, but I mean, just right now, we've got a heck of a haul already. And, you know, we got some leaves and some flowers from the mullein plant. We're gonna get some lunch, and once lunch is over, we're gonna be right back out here picking, because if you look over this way, this entire line through here is pretty much nothing but wineberry plants. So we're gonna come in here and try to clean it out, and then we're gonna go down the road here, and there's a ton along the road too. So see ya after lunch.
1 hour later.
All right, you can see here on the side of the road, we've definitely got some mullein. This looks like it got knocked down, maybe from the rain. And here's some mullein actually growing, but it hasn't sprouted, so that's really young. That'll be probably something for next year. So we got some there. And if we come down this way a little bit, yeah, you can see there's some right here. Oh, here's one we call a double winner. Look at this. It's a mullein plant that's got some blackberries growing with it. Man, I mean, you got a grocery store sitting right here. And then we have some milk thistle. And we don't actually have a lot of this up here at this homestead, but yeah, there's definitely a little bit here on the side of the road. All right, everybody, we are done for the day. As you can see, we got a pretty good load of these wine berries or wild raspberries. And we got a pretty decent amount of blackberries as well. And we got some mullein leaves. And we also got some of the mullein petals. We're gonna need a lot more petals, but again, that's gonna be something you do over time. All right, everybody. Well, thank you from Vanessa, the kids, and I for joining us today as we kind of went around the property, went up and down the road. We collected a bunch of wine berries. We saw a bunch of cool mushrooms. We collected blackberries. We saw, you know, different kinds of trees. We went through and collected mullein petals. We also collected some of the leaves off the mullein plant. If you're interested in the stuff that we foraged today, there's going to be a link to our blog down below. And Vanessa, myself, or Chris will do a write-up on the different things that you can use. And we'll put some pictures in there too so that you know how to easily identify those plants if you live in an area that has them. As usual, please like our content. If you liked this, just click on like below. We really appreciate that. And if you're new to the show and you liked this episode, check out some of our other episodes and maybe consider subscribing. Subscribers help us and it helps support the family. And as usual, make time for dirt time.